and your servants all got killed. And by the way, your sheep all got burned up, and the camels got stolen too. And Job was having a bad day, called the Hebrew stock market crash. That's where the word stock market comes from, I think. Stock, you know, animals, never mind. Another messenger came and said, Job, guess what? All 10 of your kids just died. Then Satan gave Job boils from the top of his head to the bottom of his feet. And to top it off, his wife turned against him. Job's really having a bad day. And then, to really top it off, his 4 friends came to comfort him. One of these guys was the shortest man mentioned in the Bible, Bildad the Shuhite. That's pretty short, folks, okay? But these 4 guys, Bildad, Eliphaz, Zophar, and Elihu, they came and talked to Job for 35 chapters. They had to be Baptists, the way I got it figured. They came and said, Job, everything's going wrong, huh? We know why. You sinned. Now listen, Job, folks here. If something bad happens to you, or something bad happens to one of your friends, you might not know why it happened. If one of your friends says something bad happened, best thing for you to do is comfort them, love them, encourage them, and shut up. Don't go to the hospital when they get their gallstones taken out and say, hey, brother, these aren't gallstones. These are tithes and offerings. God's getting them out of you one way or another. Don't do that. You don't know why it's happening. Let God take care of those kind of things. You just pray for them, encourage them, and love them. See, finally, in chapter 31, Job's 4 friends have been talking to him now for a long time. He said, man, I wish the Lord would answer me. Why did this happen? And folks, you don't have to live very long on this planet before you're going to be asking this question. Lord, I wish you'd answer me. Why did you allow this to happen? See, Job didn't know about Romans 8:28. Hadn't been written yet, but it was coming. God said, we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them that are the called according to His purpose. This verse does not say everything that happens is good. It says everything will work together for good, doesn't it? Here's how it works. Has anybody here ever been hungry? You ever been hungry before? Suppose you come to my house, you knock on the door. Mr. Owen, I'm hungry. I'll say, hey, come on in. I'm going to give you a cup of flour. That'll satisfy you. You say, ugh. Well, how about a teaspoon of salt? Now, that'll taste good. Or better yet, a spoonful of baking soda. I got it. Lay your head back. We're going to pour in a half a cup of Crisco. And chase it down with a cup of buttermilk. How about if we mix them all together and make biscuits? Oh, hey, now we're talking. See, the individual ingredients would taste lousy, but they work together for biscuits, don't they? And the individual things in your life might not be very good, but they will work together for good if you love God. So really, all you need to worry about in this world is keeping your heart right with God. That'll be tough to do, because the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. So finally, Job has had enough, and he's talking to God, and finally God says, okay, Job, I'm going to answer you. And in Job chapter 38, the Lord answered Job out of a whirlwind. Boy, if a tornado starts talking to me, I'm going to pay attention. And the Lord said, who is this that darkeneth counsel by words without knowledge? Gird up now thy loins like a man, for I will demand of thee, and answer thou me. Where wast thou when I laid the foundations of the earth? I read that 33 years ago as a brand new Christian, and I thought, what a dumb question. Where were you when I built the earth? I thought, God, why would you ask Job a question like that? He wasn't there when you made the world. You know that. Why would God ask him a question like that? See, God asked Job question after question after question. Job never said a word. He never answered one of God's questions. God asked him 84 questions. I think God's not trying to get an answer. God's trying to change Job's attitude. See, God understands the things that you think. He knows your thoughts. And Job was being asked all these questions by God to change his attitude. God said, who hath laid the measures thereof, if thou knowest? Question. Job doesn't answer. God just kept asking him question after question. He said, hast thou entered into the springs of the sea? Did you know scientists did not know there were springs in the sea till 1977? God asked Job this question nearly 4,000 years ago. Science is slowly catching up with just a few parts of the Bible. God said, where is the way where light dwelleth? As for darkness, where is the place thereof? Interesting wording. See, light is in a way, it's always moving. Darkness doesn't move. Darkness has a place. Light has a way. Interesting. God said, by what way is the light parted which scattereth the east wind upon the earth? You know, the Bible teaches the light causes the wind. The weatherman didn't even know about that until about 100 years ago. But that's exactly right. The sunlight heats up the ground, makes the air expand, and the wind is driven by the sunlight. Just like God said. God said, canst thou send lightnings? Boy, it's a good thing I can't. How many of you can think of somebody that's lucky to be alive because you can't send the lightnings? Can you think of a few? Phil, I bet you can think of a few, can't you? Yes, sir, brother. God asked Job question after question after question after question. 84 questions by my count. Job never answered one. See, these are the kind of questions that don't need an answer. The question is designed to change the person's attitude. It's the same kind of questions you dads have to ask your kids. See, I have 3 children, and they're all married now and all work for me. But I know how this works. Kids get to a certain age, and they start to get kind of cocky, and they think, you know, they should make the rules around the house. The kid comes in one day and says, hey, Dad, listen, I believe I should be allowed to stay out till 4 in the morning with my friends. After all, I'm 10 now. And Dad says, hold on just a minute, kid. You'd like to know why you can't stay out till 4 in the morning. Well, son, let me ask you a few questions. Who pays the electric bill around this house? Who's paying for the house? Who pays the insurance? Who bought those clothes you're wearing, son? Who pays for the food you eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat? Who paid for the hot water and soap you took a shower with? About a month ago. Let's just get it straight right now, son. The Bible is very clear on this topic. He who payeth the bills maketh the rules. Second Opinions, chapter 4. You see, son? Me, Dad, you, kid. And if you're going to sleep under my roof and eat my food, you're going to do it my way. And when you want to do it your way, well, then you get your own roof to sleep under and get your own food to eat, and you can do it your way. That's the golden rule, son. He that hath the gold maketh the rules. Who do you think you are, kid? Where were you when we got this property and cleared off this land and drove off to grizzly bears and walked uphill to school 40 miles in the snow, barefoot, both ways? Me, Dad, you, kid. I think that's what God is doing to Job. All God did to Job was ask him 84 questions. God never did tell Job why his kids died. He never did tell him why his livestock was stolen. He never did tell him any of that. All he did was ask him question after question after question. Hey, would you keep serving God if everything went wrong and you never found out why? Job did. We come to chapter 40. And God said, behold now behemoth. Now what on earth is a behemoth? Some reference Bibles say it must be the elephant or hippopotamus. No, it cannot be either of those, okay? I believe behemoth is the long-necked dinosaur, probably the Brachiosaurus. There are actually 13 different long-necked dinosaurs: the Brachiosaur, the Cetosaur, Mamenchosaur, the Seismosaur, the Blondosaurus. He does have to talk to her kind of slow, okay? But God said, behold now behemoth, he eats grass as an ox. You say, now, Brother Hovind, elephants eat grass, and my Bible says elephant. Well, a lot of animals eat grass, okay? Look at the next verse. His strength is in his loins, his force is in the navel of his belly. The biggest part on him is his belly. You say, well, elephants have a big belly. Yep, I've seen them. Hippopotamus have a big belly. I've seen them too. Brachiosaurus has a big belly. He has a big belly. Next verse says, he moveth his tail like a cedar. His tail is like a cedar tree. Have you ever seen an elephant's tail? Not like a cedar tree, is it? How about a hippo tail? Not like a cedar tree. You know, before they put those comments about the Bible in the Bible, they ought to at least read it. Don't you think, brother? Before they put a comment about it, they ought at least read it once. You know, it can't be an elephant hippopotamus. They don't have a tail like a cedar tree. I mean, come on. It has to be something like the Brachiosaurus. Now, that would have a tail like a cedar tree. Next verse says, his bones are as strong pieces of brass. His bones are like bars of iron. They had big, heavy-duty bones. I have a toe bone in my museum. you can come by and see a real toe bone from a brachiosaurus. Now, kids, this is going to be complicated, so listen carefully. Those little bones in his toe, like you have 3 bones in your finger, what I have is the second phalange, second toe bone of a dinosaur. Now, the reason they had those big toe bones is because he had big toes. How many can figure that out with no help? He had those big toes because he had a big foot. There's a kid taking a bath in a dinosaur footprint. Pictures on the back of the book right here on the table. He had that big foot because he had a big leg to hold up